few days back at the clinic, a girl was sent from one of the renowned international schools of Kolkata, where she was found out by the teacher to be involved in a sexual act in the terrace with a classmate. She came here. She said that the boy asked her to go up in the terrace, and she went, and she was having oral sex when she was caught on CCTV, and she was asked to leave the school campus immediately, and the parents were called, and she was sent here saying that this is age inappropriate and that she is not of a good mental health. After the interview, we realized that she did not know about oral sex, number one. Number two, there was nobody at home with whom she could talk about her sexual arousals, which often which she undergoes, as she already had a past history of sexual abuse by a fellow classmate in another school. With a history of sexual abuse, it is more important that the sex education should be given to those people.
Our society is so much limitless, and they have created a boundary that yes, if you're asking about sex or you're watching a movie with all the sexual scenes, that means you are not supposed to do this because you are quite kid, you are quite small. So because of this, they start exploring different ways. Like, I have to satisfy my need because it's my need. I have to do it. I want to get answer.
See, a child enters a school at the age of 3, 4, 5 as a baby, and he or she leaves school at the age of 18 plus as a physically grown, emotionally grown, and sexually mature person.
We know that the sex is determined at birth, and after that, sexual development, ideas regarding sex, gender roles, they gradually evolve over a period of time till the child is an adult. What happens is during the initial years, after we are born with a particular sex, our gender roles are assigned. So if you are a boy, then I am taught, our society, our parents, they teach us to behave like a boy. If I am born as a girl, I will behave as a girl, and that is how we pick up our gender roles, which is separate from sex.
Before the age of puberty was 13, generally, on an average. Then it was said, okay, 13 to 15. Then it was said it's 11 to 15. Now, children, especially girls, they start their menstruation, etc. at the age of 9 even. So the age of puberty, the onset of puberty is slowly, the age for it is being lowered. So a 9-year-old child is essentially a child, not an adolescent, but has to go through all the bodily changes of an adolescent.
Parents have to educate them about the possibility when the child is nearing puberty that menstruation will happen. Menstruation actually is preceded by certain bodily changes, and children or girl children often, if they are not educated about these bodily changes, they often feel very anxious and scared. Why this is happening to my body? Why am I suddenly kind of developing hair? Why am my breast is developing? Why I find company of boys so much enjoyable? Why am I bleeding? It's not only important if we educate the girl child, we also have to educate boys that girls go through these changes and they need to respect their privacy, they need to respect their bodily changes in a manner which is not intimidating and which is, so they should be cooperating if they realize that this is happening. And for many years, women and girls and girl child of our society have been marginalized. They have been, what would I say, humiliated because of if they are having their menstruation. You know, in many religions, if a girl child is having menstruation, then he or she cannot participate in the puja. So I think these are primitive, archaic rules which marginalizes young people, young girls, which should be abandoned.
Sexual bullying and assault do take place in schools. I think in schools, mostly it is sexual bullying than open assault because of the security we have in school. Senior students sometimes tend to bully the smaller boys or girls into, forms of gratification for themselves, which need to be guided and supervised. If that's not there, children can be very much affected through this sexual bullying in schools, in the fields, in the toilets, and in areas which are open.
We came here to assemble to discuss about the very serious issue, that is bullying thing is happening in our secondary section.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this things has came up. So you people being the important person in this school have to take this issue very seriously, and some people have some reports also. So let us discuss what report do you have. Anyone have seen anything? Yes.
When I don't study properly, like they tell you don't know anything, you don't know this, you don't know that, you are unpad gawar.
Okay, first of all, when you are being bullied, how you take the thing upon yourself. Second of all, we as a counselor, we can go to your class and help your friend to lend you a hand of cooperation and friendship so this thing doesn't stop. But as you people are the affecter, how can you help? See, when you get affected, first of all, the best solution for anyone is to ignore what other people are saying. Because if you learn the thing to ignore what other people are saying, you can always stop the matter there itself only. Second of all, this thing goes on and on because you people are reacting. When someone is taking your names, if you react, so the person is getting what he wants. Okay, I am able to make that person angry. Next time I will make that person more angry. So in that way, you are giving him food to react. Suppose she is saying that I am being bullied because I am not able to answer.
We should
So,
help the person not to tell them.
no, when teacher asks you, you can't help that person.
We
You can't
should
give
prepare
problem.
ourselves so that we can show them that we can do it.
Yes. So Jayanti, next time you teacher gives a topic, prepare yourself so that you can answer it. If someone is bullying you physically, what should you do? You should not engage yourself in fight. Okay? Immediately stand up, move away. If there is a teacher available next to you, report it to teacher and the matter will be taken care of. But if you again give or retaliate back, this will put you in trouble or the other person in trouble.
Sexual identity crisis or a difference in sexual identity is not a disorder. It is not a disorder, but it does lead to adjustment issues. If I am a girl and I do not identify with my mother, instead I identify with my father, and my sexual orientation is more towards homosexuality, so I end up behaving like men, wanting to dress up like men. That has led to a lot of disturbances, trouble in adjustment. They get bullied in school. They don't understand why they're getting bullied in school. Parents a lot of the time, try and punish them to force them to change, and all these become very stressful and makes it difficult for the child to adjust to their regular everyday life.
We are in the process of training our kids, unfortunately I would say, because we train them from a very young age of 2.5-year-old about good touch and bad touch. Now this is something people would not have thought of 5 to 10 years ago. But unfortunately, society has become so perversive and abusive that we need to see that our little ones are safeguarded. So, parents and children of 2.5-year-olds, 3.5, 4.5, and 5.5 are regularly called in for workshops, and they're shown good films on how the little child can understand whether caregiver, whoever is a caregiver, is using good touch or bad touch.
And very good. Pass between my legs. Bad touch. Everyone in their copies. Sexual abuse. Everyone in their copy, please. Or suppose I am rubbing his thighs and I am feeling happy. I am touching him. He is not feeling happy, but I am feeling happy. That means I am gaining some pleasure. I am gaining some pleasure. That is called sexual abuse. Clear? Everybody clear?
If I went to a doctor's clinic, so there is my guardians are outside, I'm inside, and they means close the door. So they means they rub here in the stomach.
They don't rub you, they touch you.
Ma'am,
Rubbing and touching is different. As a doctor, I have to check whether he is having some problem. So I will just touch it like this. Yes, daughter touch like this?
Yes, ma'am.
They don't rub you like this. Do they? Clear?
Child sexual abuse is frighteningly common, and it happens, equally in boys and girls. Boys have more difficulty in disclosing about child sexual abuse. So the first and foremost thing is parents need to realize that child sexual abuse is a common thing in our society, and we must impart education about sexual abuse in order to keep them safe. If we do not talk about sex, sexual practices, and warn them about sexual abuse, they might fall victim to it. Now, what is child sexual abuse? What are the boundaries? That is usually covered in life skill education in most schools. But parents also need to go online. There are plenty of very, very helpful material available regarding what and how you can talk about sexual abuse with your children. And usually what we do, we have group classes for children and students. We talk to them about not only sexual abuse, but sexual practices, sexual habits, relationships, and also about sexual abuse.
The media shows thin women as beautiful. You have to be very slim to be socially acceptable as beautiful. If you're not that, then you're doing something wrong. You have to change your diet, you're running to the gym. Some people even are, showing symptoms of anorexia, so to speak.
So a young person or any person is made up of many things, many skills. Of that, one part is physical appearance. If you have it, then you are lucky, but it is not going to last you forever. Whereas the other skills like kindness, compassion, intelligence, sense of humor, ability to get along with people, helping each other, these are skills which will last you for your lifetime. So what we tell children is that developing other skills, getting along with everyone, adapting to the world around you, and respecting your own self is the most important thing. If you keep on seeing something on television or newspaper, then people start believing that those are true because they are being shown on a reputed channel. But the fact is, all the claims regarding medicines or oils which are advertised to increase sexual potency or advertised to increase the size of their penis or breasts are all false. There is absolutely no truth about that, and we must unequivocally spread this message.
Social media has a big part to play here, because in most of the women and men who are on the social media, whether on the billboards or when on the magazines, the models are all under the right size, so-called the right size and the right shape. What we forget is, in sex education, what is being taught is the most pleasurable sex comes from the best communication, not the best body. So you have to be comfortable with whatever body you have to have the best sex.
Who will tell me about libido? Libido, libido. Now I am giving you a hint. Libido is associated with sex. There is nothing to laugh. You are going to respect yourself. Forget the promise. But if you don't respect yourself and your body, you won't be able to respect any relationship in your life. Trust me. You're quite growing up here. Be mature. Learn to accept, yes, this is me. Whoever I am. You want to accept me, you accept me, otherwise, let's go. Finish.
Aggressive behavior and sexual behavior are closely related. Now, if you are exposed to sexuality for a long time and there is no vent to it, what happens is your aggressive behavior goes up. When somebody gets hooked on to pornographic sites, etc., one should always remember that since you do not have a partner, going through the sites would be would only increase your distractions, and you can get hooked on to the sites for immediate gratifications.
What we need to tell about pornography is that pornography is unreal. What they show in pornographic films is unreal. So they should not get false ideas regarding the size of their penis, or how you can actually have sexual intercourse from those pornographic films. Sex in real life is completely different from what sex is shown in pornographic films. Sex is actually a culmination of love and affection between two partners. So therefore, I feel that if a father or if a mother finds his or her child to be masturbating, this is a fantastic opportunity to talk to the child regarding not only masturbation but also about sexual practices.
Earlier, any child caught in engaging in acts of sexual kind of behavior would be punished and sometimes even expelled from school. But I think now the thinking has changed. This child needs help. So he would be immediately referred to the school counselor, who will study his history and help him to come out of these habits. And we have seen children who are suffering from this kind of problems, who have this kind of issues, and we have helped many of these children to overcome these problems, and they're able to get back into the normal study and normal habits of life. We can't hide children from technology. It's available, it's all over the place. We can never hide them from this. What we can do is to educate them, to teach them about the appropriate use of technology and its usefulness, and accompany children through the process of growing up so that they are able to be responsible in the use of the media.
A common example would be music, songs. We feel that kids download today, you have to download songs from the internet. Anything and everything is available on the internet. But if you really pay attention to the lyrics of some well-known songs, the F words, the B words are so common that kids growing up thinking it is normal to use F-U-C-K or B-I-T-C-H. And we as seniors or teachers get shocked at the use of these words.
I think parents themselves should get onto social media and know more about it. That is the first and most important thing, because if we as parents do not know what is happening in social media, we cannot guide our children. In social media, the world is open. Everyone can approach your child through social media. So parents need to know about their children's social media behavior, and they can only do it if they themselves know about social media. Because the reality is that social media is going to be with us. It is part of our environment. It is like air, water, plants. It is within our environment. We cannot tell the child that do not use social media. That is not going to be successful. They also need to teach children about certain precautions of using social media. That you should not upload sensitive pictures, you should not give too much personal information, you should not disclose too many things to person you don't know, person you have just met in social media. You should not go and meet people without telling anyone else whom you have only met on social media. So basic safety and security regarding social media use is a must for teachers and for parents.
Now, rape starts in the brain, not in the body. Now, the main reason why rape rates are very high in India is because of gender inequality. This inequality in the psyche actually makes the men believe that they can overpower women and they can show their power. So the power play comes when he's frustrated for his sexual needs. He doesn't think twice before forcing himself on a woman, because in his psyche, the woman is the weaker sex. To stop rape, to lower the incidences, there has to be equality in all the families. It should start from the mother and the father, and the sexual education to them that can be given to make them aware of how you are bringing up children will decide on the future of India, on the security of the women.
So it's very important that they are having proper sex education in school, because they think that they may know everything about sex, but in totality they know nothing. They just connect sex with the body being naked or the act of intercourse, whereas they should be really groomed and taught about the sanctity of the process of sex. And that is why I think schools should endorse sex education for children, not in a formal way. We don't want to make it like a subject, because it loses its sanctity.
Sexual, experiments among boys and girls are very, very widespread. We can't deny this. It's very, very widespread and widely prevalent among students of all schools, all ages, whether city or village. Now these children actually need help, immediate help, urgent help, and professional help. And I think all schools need to take initiative and take this seriously and urgently to help children to have proper education on sex. It could be in the forms of life skill workshop from time to time for various classes, age appropriate workshops. It can also be part of the curriculum where every week small doses of this are given to children so that they are helped to cope. Actually, children, they look very big, they are they're very intelligent, they're very smart, but actually they are all seeking, they are all struggling, especially with regard to their sexual experiences and their expressions. So they need to be helped by adults in a way that is non-threatening, helpful, so that this child learns to cope and learns to grow up living with this thing of his own sexuality.